Hi, this is Mark Williams, and guess what? I found another new thing on LinkedIn. Well, actually, it's not on LinkedIn, it's in something called LinkedIn Labs, which means it's still at experimental stage, still being developed. But this is called Instant Search, and this came as a result of something called Hack Day. Hack Day is something that LinkedIn run every month, and people are allowed to go off in teams or individually and develop things on the system that are not necessarily anything to do with their job, and they have kind of open book to do anything they like, really. And Instant Search was someone that won a Hack Day prize back in September of last year, and now it's available for all of us to play with. So, if you can see the address here that I've gone to, it's instant.linkedinlabs.com. That's how you can get to it until it's a full feature. Over here you will see that I've signed into my account. So when you first go through to that site, it'll ask you to sign and associate, give permission to your account to associate with this product. And then, in many respects, it just looks like a Google search bar, doesn't it? But with instant written above it. And the way this might work would be like this. So I might say to myself, yeah, I need an accountant, as an example. And so logically, it might be good for me to find someone that's close to me in my network who is an accountant. So very simply, I'm just going to type accountant. And as you can see, as I'm typing it, I haven't pressed return or anything there. It literally just searches and starts bringing up names of people. And you can see some of these would be applicable people for me to speak to. I'll give you a slightly more complicated one now. Let's say I need to find a lawyer specialising in intellectual property. So type that. Intellectual property. I'll just wait for a second while it does its business, and straight away, people, obviously it's bring up people who are first tier connections initially, but also bring up people around the world. This chap's in Brazil, so that's not of any use to me. This person's a recruitment assistant at a law firm, but not what I'm looking for. But Nicola is a lawyer and does specialise in intellectual property. I can see that very clearly in her headline. She's got a good profile. She's been on my course actually, and Simon also as well. Good profile, good information. Does show you how important it is to get the right kind of information in your profile. So not all of those are applicable, but you can see immediately it's giving me some ideas of people that I might want to get in touch with. Some people might be tempted to use this for recruiting purposes. You could do. I'm not saying you shouldn't. All I would say is that it's not as good as advanced search on LinkedIn for finding people. But if you wanted to do a very quick search, give you an example of how that might work. Let's imagine I'm recruiting for an HR business partner. Just type in HR business partner. There you go. And Richard Howell, who's a really good HR business partner that I met last year, he's based in Switzerland. But you can see that other people more local. And I'll just click through to these. They're all, some of them are applicable, some of them aren't. But again, I can just click through and look at their profile, which I'm not going to do now. But you can imagine that's a fairly straightforward thing to do. Now, from a recruiter's point of view, you may use that for searching. But equally, of course, what you've got to remember is that if you were a recruiter or anybody, people might be searching for you. So as we've looked for an accountant, we've looked for a lawyer. So imagine I was looking for a recruiter, and let's say accountancy recruiter. Right. So I might be a candidate, I might be a client, but I put that in. Who comes up? And immediately I'm getting accountancy recruiters coming up here. All right. So again, it's based on the keywords that they've put in their profile. It's also based on how close they are to me in my network, and it's also my decision on whether there's someone I want to click through to is based on their headline, which shows how important the headline is, all of these things that we cover in our workshops. And finally, as a bit of fun, which of course things like this do tempt you to want to do, I just thought we'd have a quick bit of fun here and just in my network, let's see who comes up if I put winner in. Well done, Richard Olberg, right at the top there, and Richard Wilding, who I know, Sarah as well. So these people have obviously got the word winner in their profile, and of course we have to do the opposite, don't we, and see who comes up with loser. Poor old Eric, unfortunately, it's his name. So I haven't got any first-tier connections that are losers, and that's quite comforting. But obviously, that doesn't really mean anything, just a bit of fun, really. So there you go. Instant search, good new feature, quite a bit of fun, but also could be potentially useful. And if it gets used more and more, I think shows how important your profile is. Great, thank you very much for your attention. More videos to come soon.